Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Wednesday. We have a monster 13-gamer tonight. A ton of news that we'll have to touch on. We'll probably get a ton of news throughout the day, so it's going to be a wild one. So buckle your seatbelts, and let's get started with the video. As always, if you enjoy the content, I really appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. If you want to check out any of the prize picks info, the Twitter, the website, that's in the description. Yesterday, 3-game slate, not that fun. Really low scoring. If you made money, nice. We fell a little bit short in the cash games on DraftKings. Hopefully today we can get right back to the money. So the point guard plays today. You have Luka Doncic. He's $11,500 going up against Memphis. He's on a back-to-back here. There's a lot of superstars on a 13-game slate, so I don't know if you have to prioritize any of them. At least not Luka, assuming Porzingis is in, and Porzingis did play very well yesterday. Steph Curry is 11-4, going up against Portland. He's fine. We still have a lot of injury news and just COVID issues going on in Charlotte. They're still down like 4 or 5 bodies. So I think I'm going to look to some players on that team. The Blazers missing Damian Lillard, missing CJ McCollum. They're going to be interesting. Still no John Morant on the Grizzlies side, so we can look to a couple of pieces from them if we wanted to. And then Russell is unlikely to play. So at the top, I don't really see anybody to prioritize. I don't really need to go to $9,300 Fred VanVleet. And then you have Brogdon 85, SGA 86. Both guys probably priced where they should be. Tougher spot for the Pacers going up against the Kings. Going up against the Knicks, and you have the Thunder are fine going up against the Toronto Raptors, but 86 for SGA I think is priced where he should be. Going further down, you have Cade Cunningham, who's been kind of up and down. He had a monster game last time out with 52. The floor is still in the low 30s for him, which at 76 is not very good. Even maybe lower floor than that. The good spot is that he's at home and going up against Washington, who's been better defensively this year, and they don't play as fast. So games against Washington, I just haven't really been playing unless Beal is out or unless Dinwiddie's out with injuries. I don't really like to target anybody on the Washington side, and then Detroit's just not a fun team to roster, especially on a 13-game slate where you have 25 other options. Going down here, you have Lonzo Ball, 75. They don't have DeRozan again, so Ball gets a nice uptick. He had a great game last time out. Cole Anthony can probably bounce back here. I like Anthony more than Garland, more than Cunningham, I think Lonzo's similarly in a similar boat to Cole Anthony. And then the Miami guys, no Jimmy Butler. So you have Kyle Lowry at 72, Tyler Hero at 7K. They're both going to, it's not something new that's been going on. Butler played half the game last game, and then he got hurt. I think he fell and re-aggravated that tailbone injury. So Hero will give you a higher ceiling, I'd say. Lowry might give you a higher floor with the assist. Hopefully Maxey can play today, 67. He's a decent option, but there's some better ones. Going down in the 5K range, Dennis Smith Jr. at 58 would be a great play. Even if Simons is in, they could still continue to start Dennis Smith. He's been fine as a starter, and they could start Simons at the 2 and move Powell to the 3 if they wanted to. But either way, he's still going to get a lot of minutes. And then at the bottom, you have $4,800 Patrick Beverley, who should be back in the lineup. They said he's expected to play today. Not the best matchup going up against Utah, but the price tag is really solid for a guy that was already playing pretty good minutes, and he's going to probably get over 30, 34, 35 minutes today. They last game, they started somebody I never heard of at point guard, but going back to Beverley, he was getting all these minutes even with Russell in, but no Russell. You should get a ton of the point guard minutes, a lot of the ball handling, and he can really get you assists, rebounds, score a little bit, get you some defensive stats, and easily pay off $4,800. Shooting guard, some of these Chicago guys are just priced up, like Levine, 10-5. I don't want to pay 10-5 for Levine. Even without DeRozan, Cleveland has not been a fun team to play teams against. Cleveland plays great defense. They don't play at a fast pace. They're giving up just 102 points per game. The Bulls are on the road. I just don't want to play 10-5 for Zach LaVine today. I think you can go cheaper, like with Anthony Edwards at $8,400. He gets a nice uptick without Russell. You have better plays like Kelly Oubre, who played 38 minutes in regulation. He ended up playing 43 in the overtime. Red hot. No, he's been on one. No Lonzo. No LaMelo, no Terry Rozier. Oubre just chucked out there as you would expect, 24 shots, and was their best player. Kept them in the game, putting up 35 real life points. Definitely like him, even though he is priced up. Like, I'd rather take a shot on 75 Kelly Oubre than paying all the way up for like a Zach LaVine. 6K range, Trent is fine at 62. Wiggins is fine. He had a good game, but kind of risky. Going in the 5K range, Simons, if he does play and he starts, he looks fine at 52. They're going to need some scoring. Buddy Hield, the minutes have been down a bit, but still gives you some upside at 55 for tournaments. If there is no Maxey, then you can go back to Shake Milton maybe. And all the way at the bottom in the 3K range, you have a couple of pieces like Beasley looks fine at 42. But Ayo Dasamu at 39, I think I said that properly. He played 42 minutes getting the start. They don't have a bunch of point guards. They don't have Kobe White. They don't have Alex Caruso. And they're missing their wing and DeRozan, who plays a bunch of minutes. So just missing a lot of guys led to them playing the rookie 42 minutes last game. He was solid, 11, 8, and 6. Perfectly reasonable at $3,900 if he does kind of have a similar stat line. 42 minutes is still pretty high. Maybe he gets to like 35. Still at a sub 4K price tag with all the injuries and all the lack of bodies on Chicago. I'll be more than willing to take a shot. Small forward, top end, a bunch of guys above 10K. I think they're all kind of like the George and Tatum similar. I don't know about Jaylen Brown now. Hopefully he plays today. If Brown plays, there'll be a downgrade to Tatum. Paul George, price tag was reasonable, and then it went back up to 10-7. So he still hasn't put up a 60-point game in so long. He's been in the 40s. I hopefully haven't been playing Paul George continuously because he hasn't been paying off. And then you have Doncic and Durant, same kind of deal. I don't really see any of those guys screaming as amazing values given their price tags. I'd rather take a shot on Kelly Oubre at 75. He gives you 50, 60-point upside. He can easily outscore. He could outscore Paul George, and you wouldn't be surprised. He could outscore Tatum. Not having a lot of bodies there. Gets a ton of usage. A lot of shots off. And same exact matchup going up against Philly. They're at home. I like Oubre taking a shot with him once again. In the 6K range, you have Dylan Brooks, who finally had a good game without John Morant. I mean, we've been waiting for this to happen. He put up 40.75, played 36 minutes. Of course, it was against a tough Miami defense, but still took 21 shots. I think you definitely can go back to him. His price tag went from 7K down to 61 in a matter of a couple of games. So he's a good value pick if you needed one. They priced up Cody Martin, who's 5,000 now. He was 39 the other game. He's playable, but he's not as much of a good value as he was last time out. Another small forward that looks really good to not to play is Norman Powell at 48. He played 43 minutes in regulation against the Clippers. They don't have McCollum. They don't have Lillard. They're going to need somebody to shoot. Robert Covington shot 1 of 8. He's not going to be the guy. Dennis Smith shoots not the best. He can still shoot a little bit. But Powell is going to be the guy that will take 20-plus shots. There's so many shots to go around without Lillard and McCollum. And the price tag on Powell is unbelievably good. Power forward options at the top end. Giannis that looks the best out of any of these guys. Sabonis looks fine against New York. Randall's 10K. I'll pass on that price. Gordon Hayward got the startup point guard. I like Oubre more than Gordon Hayward, but just to give him a shout out a bit. PJ Washington, 68. He played off the bench, but they got destroyed by Embiid, as you would expect. The Hornets are giving up the most points to centers in terms of just fantasy points out of all the NBA teams. Washington will continue to play big minutes because they don't really have any big bodies, and Nick Richards can't stop Embiid. He's going to foul out in 2 minutes. So they're gonna have to change something up. I think they might do more double teams today with Washington and Bridges, potentially. That could work. But they need a different answer to stop Embiid. So Washington, well, maybe they start him instead of Nick Richards. Not that he would be much of a help, but at least he might be better than Richards. And then at the bottom, power forward, you have like Derek Jones Jr. at 43. Looks reasonable. If we get some more injuries, you can maybe look to some of these guys, but I don't really see anybody sticking out. So kind of looking at like PJ Washington, maybe Gordon Hayward. You can probably try to pay up if you wanted to for some of these top end guys like Giannis. we get some more value throughout the day. At center, you have Embiid at 11.7. He had his best game of the season with 46. Super efficient, 15 of 20, 75 fantasy points. It went into overtime, but still Embiid was at like 65 plus before that. He's probably the better spend up. No, actually, I think Jokic still is the best. Jokic, now there's only $200 difference. Let's still go Jokic. Then Embiid. Giannis, I'd probably try to play him at power forward instead of center. There's so many good center plays today that if you can play Giannis at power forward, open up a spot for center to play one of these guys in the 6K range potentially. That looks so good. You have Rashawn Holmes at 63, Mo Bamba at 62, and then you have Miles Turner at 61. They all look pretty solid. They all give you huge ceilings. They're all in good matchups. Kind of prefer Mo Bamba today at $6,200 going up against the Kings. He's always slightly risky because last game it was a blowout and Golden State doesn't play a traditional big at most times. Like Draymond plays the 5, and you don't want Mo Bamba playing against Draymond. I think you could make a shot for Mo Bamba to play big minutes today going up against Rashawn Holmes. They still have Wendell Carter that they can go to. But the Kings have also been absolutely destroyed by centers this year. They're the third worst team behind the Hornets and another team. But Bamba at this price tag still gives you monster ceiling. And the matchup is just so solid. He's actually been slightly better at home, but it's not like a much difference. I'm definitely interested in this price tag on Mo Bamba today. And then last but not least, there's so many good center plays today that I think I can utilize two centers, one in the traditional spot and the one at utility. If you wanted to pay up for one guy above 9K, I think Christian Wood looks pretty appealing. They don't have Kevin Porter Jr., which means Wood gets a ton of usage. They don't have Jalen Green still. Wood been playing really good basketball. They're on an absolute tear. I think they won 6 straight games. So some of these haven't been the best opponents, the Pelicans, the Magic, the Thunder, but they did beat Charlotte. They did beat Chicago. They're on a little bit of a heater, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they went on that heater as soon as Jalen Green got hurt. Green hasn't been that productive yet. He's still in his rookie year. He still has a lot of time to get better. But Christian Wood, giving him more of usage than going to guys like Jalen Green is going to make the team better, give them better shots to be in competitive games. He's an absolute monster rebounder. The matchup is amazing against Brooklyn. They have LaMarcus Aldridge starting at center. Wood should be able to destroy Aldridge just in terms of going up and down the court, getting some putbacks at the basket. I think Wood will have a shot to get you 60 fantasy points today. I wouldn't be surprised. So that's about it for the DraftKings side. Let's talk about the Fanduel picks. All right, Fanduel is a slightly different story. Just some of the pricing is easier on Fanduel DraftKings. Made it a little bit tighter. We still have the guys above 10K, and Luka's down to 99 for some reason. So I still like Steph Curry the most, probably followed by maybe James Harden going back to his former team in Houston, and then Luka. SGA looks not that appealing on FanDuel. There's so many good plays. Cole Anthony, maybe if you want to go back to him in a bounce back spot. But Brogdon's at a very nice salary. You have Cade Cunningham at 7K. Looks better on DraftKings, I'd say. But Kyle Lowry at 65 without Bam, without Jimmy. He's the first guy to plug in at point guard. Other guys to plug in here. Beverly is 59, so I like him on DraftKings. Don't really have much interest on FanDuel. Dennis Smith is 55. He looks good. Yeah, maybe you want to wait on the Simons news, but he still looks appealing anyways. Like I think one of these is probably in play. You have Shake Milton, 49, depending on the Maxey news. I think Maxey will play, but we'll see. And that's basically it. At shooting guard, Harden 10-2. Same kind of deal. Harden, I like him more than Luka. I like the price tag on Zach LaVine. He's way cheaper. Paul George is way cheaper, so they look way better on FanDuel. You have Hayward at 78, so I'm not really interested in that price. Not really interested in Jrue Holiday going up against Miami. But you do have Tyler Hero at only $6,800. Way too cheap. Lowry, Hero look like pretty solid priority plays on FanDuel given their sub $6,900 price tags. Dylan Brooks, Gary Trent. Two other guys I like. Barton, you can make a case for him as well. Giddey is down to 55. He looks fine. Having SGA back hurts, but the price tag on him has come way down for some reason. LeVert's been kind of going back to normal. He's getting more minutes because they don't have McConnell, they don't have Justin Holiday. There's a lot of minutes to be had. So I like him. You can go back to him if you wanted to. Duncan is expensive, and then Doncic is also expensive at 48. We'll play him on DraftKings. Small forward, Paul George looks appealing at only 89. I like him more than Tatum, more than Durant, probably more than Giannis. Hayward 78 is okay, but why would you play him when you could play Kelly Oubre at 68, save $1,000, get the better fantasy player and the guy that might play more minutes? Burks 65, he's behind Kelly Oubre. I think he's also behind like Dylan Brooks, Gary Trent, both sub 6,000. Wiggins is very cheap, 56. I take some stabs if you make a bunch of teams with him. Norman Powell looks amazing at 52. There's so many good plays, it's pretty easy to just prioritize a handful of them. So I love Powell. I love Karis LeVert, Kelly Oubre at the small forward position. I don't think you need to go cheaper than that. You just have so many good plays in the 5K and above range. Especially you have like 5 or 6, at least like 3 or 4 in the 5 to 6K range. Power forward, I like Sabonis. I like Randall slightly. I like Sabonis more than Randall at home. But Christian Wood at only 82 looks very good and very tough to pass up on his price. We'll have even better plays, believe it or not, scrolling down. You have $6,300 Jaren Jackson for some reason. His price has come way down after one poor game, but he's been putting up 40s in more than one game since they lost Ja Morant for a couple weeks. So he looks like a great priority play. You have a couple of other guys in the 5K range and the 4K range here. Like Covington's 47. He looks way better on DraftKings. Not that interested on Fanduel. Marcus Morris, maybe some interest there. They don't have Brandon Clark, so that makes you think that Jaren Jackson would get even more minutes today once again. So, and then you have PJ Washington as well, who's pretty appealing. He's 72. He's appealing, but maybe not. He looks way. I like Jaren Jackson more than him. But give me Jaren Jackson at 63. He's just too cheap. One down game last time out, 27. Put up also 21 against the former Mavs. But it's a spot where they'll match him up against Porzingis. 2 7-foot unicorns going up against each other. I think it'll be fun to watch. And he does give you monster upside on FanDuel. He can get you like 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks and put up 46, 43, 50. Price tag on him is way down. He should be over 7K without Ja Morant. And then at center, Embiid looks good at 10-4. You can make a case for Embiid over Jokic on FanDuel. I like Vooch at 9K. Took like 25 shots, only made a few of them last game, but the usage will be there without DeRozan. But it's tough for me to pass on $8,200 Christian Wood. He's too cheap. Not having Kevin Porter, not having Jalen Green just makes him look really good. Also think Valanciunas looks appealing at 75. Mo Bamba looks better on DraftKings. 73, I'd rather get up to Valanciunas or rather go down to a couple of other guys. So it's not much of a play on FanDuel. You could look to Miles Turner, Nurkic, 63. They're both very appealing and very cheap. And that's about it. Don't need to go cheaper than that. So that's it. A huge slate. A lot of news. But right now, Charlotte, Miami, Portland, going with teams that are shorthanded, I think is a pretty smart idea. And then also Houston, Jaren Jackson, just mispriced. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I will see you all next time.